Hey, I'm Andrew Hales. Welcome to another edition of Chatting With. I'm here with a flat earther, Ryan Zim.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you for emailing me. You believe the Earth is flat?
I believe the Earth is flat.
Okay.
I'm not 100% convinced, but so it's a little bit up to debate. And the reason
Okay.
why is because I haven't seen it for myself. I haven't proven it for myself, and so I can't say that. I know that it's flat, but yeah, I believe it's flat. That's right.
Okay. When did you start believing it was flat?
It kind of comes down to 9/11.
So you believe that was
Yeah.
set up by the government?
Correct.
Okay.
I think Dream Eskimo and the chat that you had with him is a good summary of what happened.
Yeah.
But there's definitely too many questions and not enough answers. And when you get into the physics of it, it doesn't work. And so after 9/11, before 9/11, I was born in America. I'm American. I was taught to love America and that America is the best country in the world. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to good and evil, we're the good, and the evil is somebody else. And after 9/11, that whole mentality kind of switched around because, I can't say that we're the good guys anymore.
Okay.
If we're responsible for that.
So yeah, you started getting into conspiracy theories.
Yep.
And then you saw the flat Earth one.
And I seen the moon landing, and I just laughed at this. I don't know how many times I've seen a video on YouTube for moon landing conspiracy.
Okay.
And I was like, these guys have got to be crazy.
Yeah.
And because of 9/11,
right.
I was like, well, if our government's willing to lie to us about this, what have they lied about in the past?
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to look into the moon landings, and I clearly don't believe that there's any evidence put forth by NASA to claim that man has actually been to the moon.
Okay. Have you told your friends and family about this?
So, when it comes to the friends and the family, that kind of brings up a whole nother point that I want to talk about first and foremost before we get into the conspiracy theory.
Okay.
And that's acceptance. You talked recently with somebody with tattoos, and he hits on the acceptance. How people with tattoos are rejected or are treated like criminals or less in society because they have tattoos, and somebody who believes in flat Earth, I believe they have that same effect, and it's magnified even worse.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, when I'm talking with you, I'm not here to convince you of anything. I don't want to convince anybody of anything at all. I think that everybody should be able to have free will and free choice. So when it comes to, in our current society, when it comes to religion, sexuality, where you work, anything in life,
right,
you should have free choice and free will.
Right, as long as it's not harming anyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
For religion and sexuality and all these different things that come up, people should have free will and free choice.
I agree.
And so when it comes to even my views or your views on how the celestial objects move through the sky or the shape of the Earth, I think it should be acceptable for people to have free will and free choice there, and to be accepted.
Yeah, and not be, I guess, thought of as loony and etc.
Correct. You could find all kinds of videos on YouTube or just in general, go talk to people at the university, and they'll say flat earthers are the stupidest people on the planet.
Right.
I seen a post just recently that said, my coworker believes the Earth is flat. Should he be euthanized immediately, or is there any hope for him? And I thought about that. I thought, when was the last time that people were suggesting that another group of people should commit suicide.
What piece of evidence made you start believing in the Earth is flat? That the Earth is flat?
Well, I looked into the moon landings, and I don't believe that we landed on a moon. There's a lot of evidence to support that. I'm not going to get into that. You could do chatting with a NASA conspiracy theorist,
right?
But
yeah,
but for the moon, there's just mankind has only been up to 1,000 miles above the Earth's surface, other than in 1969 and 1972. During the Apollo missions, when they went to the moon, was the only time that humans have been past 1,000 miles above the Earth. And when they went to the moon, they went 247,000 miles. It's a 250,000 miles from here to the moon. So, just looking at pure evidence of what has mankind done over the last, since NASA has been established,
right,
we've only gone up to 1,000 miles above the Earth's surface. Except in 1969 and 1972, we went not just 1,000, we went 250,000 miles to the moon and then back. So a 500,000 mile trip. And so I think it's pretty coincidental.
Do you believe in satellites?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you could. Yeah, I believe in satellites.
How do they work? Not going around something. So, like, if the Earth is flat, it's like a disc, right?
Right.
They just go like this, or
so let me get a picture, and then of the flat Earth. Everybody knows what it looks like.
Right.
And while we're on NASA, I'll bring up this image, which, if you believe NASA, then those are all images from NASA of the Earth. Which one is the correct Earth? Because in this one you've got a very large North America, and you can see an obvious size difference between North America and the different globes. So which one is the correct Earth? They all can't be right. So,
well, I think they have made the statement that they're all composited.
Right, and that's the next thing I was going to say. NASA already admits that these are all composite images.
Right.
So even from NASA's own mouth, none of these may be actual pictures of Earth from space.
Right.
And then that gets you into asking, is there any pictures of Earth from space?
Okay.
But back to...
Well, on NASA though, can I read something? I found this really interesting comment in my little research on YouTube. Okay. To imply that the Earth is flat, you aren't just saying that NASA is lying. You aren't just saying there's a conspiracy within a single company. You're implying there's a conspiracy involving the world's 71 space agencies, 13 of which have launching capabilities. Not only are you saying all 71 of those agencies are lying about the shape of the Earth, but every single person in them is lying or being fooled by their respective companies. Furthermore, every single astrophysicist in the world is, by your implication, a scam artist getting paid to do research through telescopes and instruments that would be useless if the world were flat. So roughly 75,000 people are lying about what they do for a living. Not only is it absurd to even imply that NASA program under the United States government could possibly pull off this sort of conspiracy, but the fact that all 71 space agencies around the world are also taking part in some conspiracy, and every astronomer and astrophysicist and astronaut is also part of the same. It just seems that so many different people are involved in this major conspiracy.
Yeah, all the
So I guess
So all the companies or government agencies that launch rockets into space are all part of one organization.
Okay.
It's the Antarctic Treaty.
Mm-hmm.
And so every single country that launches rockets into space also is a part of the Antarctic Treaty Agreement.
Okay. So they all are lying to the general public, you mean?
Yes. Okay. I wouldn't say that I'm not sure the number, 250,000, 750,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the fact that the Earth is flat is confidential at a very high level.
The shape of the Earth is a disc?
Yeah, here's a picture of it.
Okay.
You got Antarctica that goes all around the globe. Wait a second, that doesn't work. You got Antarctica that goes all the way around the Earth,
Right.
and it essentially holds the water in.
Okay.
And that's why you find a 150 to 200 foot ice wall at Antarctica.
Okay.
And then the atmosphere essentially goes over like this. And so this is the atmosphere, and then you have
Okay.
the Earth under that.
Right. When I flew to China and then over the Pacific and then back to LA around the globe, or how did that work then on the disc?
So you flew, you can circumnavigate the Earth east to west. And here's what Columbus proved. Columbus proved that you could circumnavigate the Earth east to west. So he sailed out from here and he went to America. So you can circumnavigate the globe east to west.
Don't they know they're flying straight though? Airplanes, boats, they know they're flying straight. So wouldn't they just go like that or something? Like to Antarctica? Wouldn't they always go to Antarctica if they're going in a straight line?
Planes never go in a straight line. And I'll show that right here with the flight paths. So here, I should separate these before I.
No, it's all right.
But we got flight paths. All right. Here are all the flight paths for all commercial airlines.
Okay.
Do you see any straight lines?
Right. Yeah.
Now, there's one thing to note on this. Not one airplane in the world will go south of 60 degrees. Will go south of 60 degrees south because, well, I mean, a government airplane would, a NASA airplane can't. But you'll notice that there's not any airplanes that will come close to Antarctica. So there's no airplane. You can't go get on an airplane that's going to take you down around the southern ice cap. It doesn't exist, and you can't do that. In fact, the Antarctic Treaty would prevent you from doing that, and the Antarctic Treaty will prevent any civilian from going south of 60 degrees south.
The Antarctic Treaty. Why do you choose to believe this? Like, what's wrong with just believing the Earth is round like everyone else?
I think that's what we've been doing for 500 years. And I think that every time any evidence was presented that the Earth is not moving or that the Earth may be flat, it's attacked by the highest levels of government and the powers that be. If the Earth was proven to be flat and non-moving, there would be... I'm not sure what would happen in society, but there would be potential wars, there would be changes to religion, there would be... the Earth would almost get flipped upside down, metaphorically and literally.
How deep is it?
I don't know how deep it is. The ocean is one of the big mysterious places, as well as outer space.
Right.
So yeah, it's hard to say how deep the ocean is or what else is under there.
You're saying we've never launched anything, not even machinery of any kind, past 1,000 feet in our atmosphere?
I've never found sufficient evidence to prove that, no.
Okay. Like, we've landed stuff on Mars. You don't believe in that?
I believe that Mars is Devon Island, Canada, and also places in Greenland.
Okay.
And so if you go look at Devon Island, Canada, you're going to find the exact same. You're going to find NASA's there with Mars. Their Mars project is there.
Yeah.
And they have rovers there. They have everything they need. And then additionally, the first images that came from Mars had a blue sky, which doesn't work on Mars. And then NASA said, oh, wait a second. And they fixed the picture. Then they released it, and it had a red sky. But yeah, the very first image that came from Mars had a blue sky, which is from Earth.
So are you saying everyone in NASA is keeping this a secret?
No.
Okay.
No. Most people at NASA, maybe even at the various highest levels, may know this. They may not. But for example, if I go to school right now, I could go to school for physics, and I'm going to learn general relativity, advanced relativity. which teaches me that the Earth is a spinning sphere, and then I'll have the degree to potentially go work at NASA, and NASA's going to give me data which I'm going to plug in the Lorentz transform, the various formulas related with relativity, and I'm going to do my calculations and give back the data. The majority of the NASA employees, maybe if they had a reason to research flat Earth, they may start coming up with stuff. But yeah, I assume that the standard NASA employee doesn't have enough information to know the difference.
What would it take for you to believe that the Earth is round?
Well, I like to investigate stuff and prove it for myself.
Yeah.
So otherwise it's called faith. And when I was born, everybody told me that the Earth is a sphere, and I took it on faith. And faith is believing something that's true without personally having the evidence to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the number of people, I believe, who legitimately know with 100% proof to back it up that the Earth is a sphere, I don't think there's that many. And you can look at the sky and look at the stars and the planets and make your own deduction.
Mm-hmm.
But Albert Einstein himself said that there's no way to know whether an object is at rest or if the object around us is moving.
Right.
And so I forget the exact quote, but Albert Einstein's quote was, in the early days, the struggle between Ptolemy and Copernicus,
mm-hmm.
which is the struggle between somebody who believes a flat Earth and a sphere Earth, heliocentric and a geocentrist.
Okay, right.
So the struggle so early in the early days between Ptolemy and Copernicus is irrelevant, because either coordinate system can be used with equal justification.
Right.
So if somebody is telling me that I know the Earth is a sphere because I could look up in the sky and see it,
mm-hmm.
I would say then you must be smarter than Albert Einstein, because Albert Einstein, from his own mouth, said it's impossible to determine which one is which. See this line up here where
mm-hmm.
where the roof goes across and you can see a straight line?
Right.
I'm going to look at that line right now. Try
Okay.
the same thing. Look at that straight line.
Right. It's curvy.
So do you know for a fact that the roof is straight?
No. Well, I mean...
Well, do you know that
Yes,
this
do.
wooden board up here is straight?
Yes, I do.
We could put a level on it and it would be level.
Yeah.
So when you look through the prism,
Uh-huh.
what shape was it? The same shape as the Earth from space?
That's funny. Did you purposely wear that shirt?
I did.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And you'll also notice that this album came out in 1973, right after the moon landings, and it's called The Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
And it shows a prism with light refracting through it. If you study that, you'll understand that Pink Floyd was very intelligent.
Wow.
And they do have secrets in their music.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But you know for a fact that that's a straight line, right?
Yeah.
And when you looked through this, it made the shape of Earth from space, correct?
Okay.
Do you know why that happened?
Mm-mm.
Is because you looked through a medium
Mm-hmm.
in which light cannot travel in a perfectly straight path.
Okay. The planets, everything's round. The Earth is round. The Moon is round. Why is the Earth not round? Even atoms are round. Like electrons are round.
Right.
The Earth is not round. Why?
Well,
Why are we special?
you see everything that's above the horizon line,
Okay.
which is too far away to see.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's below the horizon line, it's close enough for you to see. And if it's beyond the horizon line, it's too far away to see. Physical objects that are here on Earth. Now, objects that put off light like the sun or the planets, that light could come directly from the sun to our eyeball so we could look up and see it. And in that case, it's not too far away to see. We can see objects that are a long ways away. But the point is that everything above the horizon line is a perfect circle. Stars, unless you get a telescope and you zoom in on them. Stars, planets, everything is a perfect circle.
So outer space is a thing. You believe in the universe. You believe in other galaxies.
No.
No.
No. No, I don't think there's other galaxies. No. There could be perhaps other worlds and but they're not galaxies in the way that we're told.
Okay.
Everything above the horizon line is this shape right here.
Right.
Now, when you study why that is, it's possible that
has to do with the light.
What you're seeing above the horizon line is your eyeball interpreting something, and it's not the physical form of it.
Okay.
So here is the Earth from space, and as you can see, it's obviously taken the same exact shape that you've seen when you look through the prism of an object that you know for a fact is flat.
Okay.
So this one you can see a curve. This is a convex shape.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, first of all, we can look at pictures all day, but they could be photoshopped, right?
Well, these aren't photoshopped. They're not. They're released from GoPro's official channel, unless GoPro photoshopped them. Yeah. Which means GoPro believes in flat Earth and they're trying to convince everyone's flat Earth.
Right. And then you said yourself, like, who can I trust? I need to know myself. Well, so how do you even learn anything if everything else you've learned is from someone else, right?
Right. In this case, I got images from GoPro and I got images from an iPad, a company that makes iPad cases, and they put an iPad up in space and then dropped it to show how strong their iPad case is. So both the GoPro and the iPad company show the same exact thing. One, you see a curve of Earth, and the second one, you see a completely flat line. And the third one, you see a U-shaped with upturned edges.
Okay.
So my question is, which one is right?
I don't know.
Is it the one with the upturned edges? I doubt it, because then we live on a bowl-shaped Earth. Is it the one with a flat horizon, or is it the one with the curve-shaped horizon? Well, it certainly can't be the one with the curve-shaped horizon.
How do you explain eclipses?
Well, solar eclipse is easy.
Oh, I guess it's the same.
Lunar eclipse.
It's the same thing with the cornea.
Lunar eclipse gets pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And so lunar eclipse is this right here. There's a lunar eclipse.
Right.
So this is supposedly the empirical evidence that proves that Earth is a sphere that's spinning around.
Right, because it's curving.
You got the shadow.
And you got the shadow of the curvy Earth.
Right.
Okay.
And it turns red in the middle, which is a different topic. But I'll stay on topic here. Lunar eclipse.
Okay.
We got you see the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
And it's eclipsing the moon.
Right.
I don't have an answer for exactly how the lunar eclipse works. That's a pretty hard question. It's also a pretty hard question to answer on the sphere Earth, but there's a pretty good answer for that, and it works pretty well. What I will say is that if there is a dome that's over the Earth, the atmosphere in essence, then that shadow could also be the shadow that is on the moon. Shadows can be flipped horizontally, vertically,
right?
And this shadow could, with its curve, come from the dome.
Do you believe in aliens?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Well, God's a question that is an interesting topic, but when it comes to science, it's completely irrelevant. And I don't think God and science should be mixed.
Okay.
I think religion and science should be two separate things. And with Flat Earth, a lot of times people want to bring religion into it and talk about studying the Bible or ancient texts or whatnot. And I I personally don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that science and religion should be separated and not combined into one.
What do you think of The Matrix?
What do I think of The Matrix? It's a cool movie. Elon Musk said that perhaps we're living in a simulation. So
Right.
let me ask you this. If there's so much hate for flat earthers because we're all so stupid,
Mm-hmm.
but Elon Musk himself says that perhaps we're living in a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're living in a simulation, it would be extremely easy to give one AI, me, a flat earth, and give another AI a sphere earth. There'd be no difference.
Yeah.
And so if we are living in a simulation, then who's to say that that some of us have been programmed with the flat earth and some of us have been programmed with the sphere earth? And so
The Earth is flat. How come I can't see Spain from here?
well, we've touched on this a little bit, but you remember that light comes from the sun and it has to go through our atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to hit Spain, and then it has to bounce off of Spain in every direction, and then it has to get to your eyeball.
Yeah. Earth is flat.
All right,
That
if
should
you-
make
if you-
sense, right? Yeah, I can see Spain because it's flat and it's just over there, you know.
Right, but you forgot that light is traveling through a medium, which is called the atmosphere. And the closer you get to Earth, the denser the atmosphere becomes and the slower light travels. And because of that, I'm not going to get into the physics of it, but as light slows down, and also if you believe Einstein's general theory of relativity, you also believe that light is affected by gravitational forces. So not only is light slowing down as it's traveling through our atmosphere, it's also being pulled by gravity. A light beam that's coming from the sun to the earth is bent 6 times by atmospheric refraction. And then it hits a mountain or Spain, and the light's reflected in every direction.
Okay.
Now the light is being affected by terrestrial refraction. The light's already traveled from the sun to the earth, so the earth is now lit, so we can see it because it has light shining on it. So now the light has to travel from Spain or the mountain all the way across the surface of the earth to our eyeball. Now, while that beam is traveling from Spain to your eyeball, it's being affected by what's called terrestrial refraction. The light beam is being drawn in with the gravity field, if you believe Einstein's theory of relativity, and it's also being slowed down because of the density of the atmosphere. So a light beam that comes from the sun hits Spain and starts traveling towards your eye is going to take a curve like this, and it's going to eventually hit the ground a long time before it ever has a chance to reach your eyeball. It would be impossible to see Spain from here because light does not travel in straight lines in our atmosphere or on the surface of our Earth. Light travels in curves.
Humanity knows so much about the way things work that some people just get bored. In our resistance to the banal facts of life, we crave for something new. We want to feel like there's some unsolved mystery or that there's some villain lurking behind the curtain. So many people throw themselves into various conspiracy theories, like the Flat Earth conspiracy. What do you think? What would you say to that?
I don't know what's...
I mean, I guess...
I don't know what's more exciting, I guess. Exploring an endless universe of universes that go forever, or being confined to a dome flat Earth. They both give kind of equal opportunities for excitement and new discovery.
Well, no, it's really exciting if it all is a huge hoax and NASA's a huge hoax and like that's a huge lie or whatever. Like that's a lot more interesting than just NASA's,
I guess that's true. That is true.
So
maybe that fuels the conspiracy theories, and do I want to find some undiscovered land that's I'm not sure that that's really what's driving my interest. I guess like I said, there was 9/11. I realized that the government does lie. Then I tried to find the depths of the lies, and when it got down to it, when I was studying the eyeballs in the atmosphere, I can come to no other conclusion that the the curve that we see is formed by the light as it's traveling through our atmosphere. And of course we can't pull out a telescope and see Antarctica because the light beam will never make it to the lens of the telescope. It'll hit Earth.
Any last words?
NASA is supposed to be, NASA is an executive branch of the U.S. government.
Okay.
And supposedly it's called the Citizen Space Program. But I don't know too many citizens that are involved in it. Mostly it becomes, government employees or whatnot. So, and I'm going to quote Carl Sagan here, but we've arranged a society based on science and technology in which nobody understands anything about science and technology. And this combustible mixture of ignorance and power, sooner or later, is going to blow up in our faces. I mean, who in our democracy is running the science and technology if the people don't know anything about it? And so I think that flat Earth is a product of this combustible mixture of power and ignorance when it comes to the space program.
What do you do for fun?
I like to skateboard, snowboard.
Okay.
I'm a software engineer, so
Okay.
I do a lot of programming.
Cool.
I teach programming on YouTube.
Oh yeah, you want to shout out your channel?
Yeah, I got.
So a Nerface game?
Yep. And then I also have a music channel, so I'll give a.
Sure, yeah.
I do a music channel with my son, so we'll give a shout out for that. Stay Away Music.
Cool.